Hello and welcome. Thank you for coming to the Turnbull Heritage Museum. I'm John Turnbull, and actually I'm the funeral director that owns the funeral home property, but it's no longer a funeral home. My family came here in 1884 and they had a lot of artifacts, as you can probably see some of them. And rather than have them in storage, and with the facilities not doing a lot as far as funeral work, I decided we would display such for the public so that you come and you could see how they did it in the old days pretty much. And I'm very glad you're here. I'm planning to be open with this Heritage Museum. I'm calling it that because that's, to me, is where my family came from. And these are things that our family had and used and were in service. I have no regular hours as such, but I hold the key and I'm the fellow that you should call if you'd like to come in and bring the group or meet here or whatever. It'd be fine. I'd love to have you. I'm glad you're here to interview me, and you can see we've set up a lot of things that we've had over the past. It hasn't been me so much as my grandparents and my great-grandparents, and they came here in 1884 and started into funeral business with a gentleman who was a liveryman called Charles E. Blackburn, and together they did livery and undertaking. And we're the undertaking side of things. It's not called that anymore, and I can explain why that was done, but on the other hand, the day has changed, and these are artifacts that we haven't gone out and purchased. We used them, and they've been retired now to a museum, and you can look at that and understand where we came from. Several things that I'm particularly proud of. I'm glad I have them. They are my family pieces. This one has been around since I was born. I believe it was the property of my great-grandmother, Ada Turnbull, who came here from Ohio with her husband, who was the undertaker. It's a candelabra, 8-candle candelabra, and in the center I believe that's where they would put floral or another piece to design this. The pieces move. Particular interest to me was this case, which it was packed in, and it is a wood case with a cloth covering. And if you look at these latches and the way it's adorned, it is a little unique. I call this the Medusa just because it's quite a majestic piece, and I have it in the center of the museum here. There's a lot of things to explain in here, and most of these things have a story. I'd like to kind of stop here with this unit and what it's sitting on. This is what I would call, in my own words, a cowboy casket. As you see, it is pine. It's a pine box. It does have a nameplate on it, but in my lifetime it would have been what the outlaw in Tombstone would have been placed in the front window of the department store on Main Street, and he would have been taken care of, and they display him or her in such a unit. It's very plain, as you can see, and the top screws on with the screws. I put this on this piece here deliberately because nowadays you use a lowering device to lower a casketed remains into the vault, which is in the top of the grave. In this day, this is a collapsible burial device that was fold-upable and portable. It would have been placed around the grave and the casket would have gone directly into the earth, in my estimation. It has a set of straps here and there, and it has no place to suspend a vault or have a vault that works in conjunction with it. But I think it's kind of a rare piece that you don't find everywhere. My great-grandparents had that in the barn, as they said, up in the rafters in the far reaches of that. And we got it out. It is a wooden case that's hand painted, design on there. And then this is a gearing that's in the box there with chain work and so forth. And they would crank these down and lower the casket that remains into the grave. In the old days, the undertaker went into the house and he would embalm the body in the house, and they would wake the body in the house in the parlor with casket jacks and all. After the embalming was done, they would place that person upon this cooling board, which facilitated putting big blocks of ice underneath, which ice, the coldness would go down. That, and I agree with you, but you notice the wicker to let it come up. And then the person was dressed and prepared here, often by the family and the undertaker, and placed in their casket. That's a mourning badge, which signified, the undertaker would put that on the front porch to signify there had been a death in the house. And the traveling salesman wouldn't call there if they saw the mourning badge on the front.